It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B-Ron. Alongside me, as always, is my co-host Yells. Good morning. It's Tuesday, terrific Tuesday, whatever you want to call it, man. How you doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm just ready for Thanksgiving, the greatest holiday on the face of the earth.
Right around the corner, man. Couple of days and we'll be swimming in food or drowning in food or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Something with food. I don't know.
Something with it, something.
Something like that. But look, we got a big show, fun show. Let's go ahead. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk more about some rivalries heading into the season. There's a lot of intensity in these um, crosstown, interstate rivalries between Showtime Bay Area or H Town and Lone Star. We know how intense those games can be because of again because of the uh, closeness of the two teams and the different dichotomies of areas, that kind of thing. Um, which rivalries besides those two, in your opinion, could progress, maybe get to that point, or maybe carry some similar weight in terms of intensity for the coming season, perhaps?
So I'm gonna start with with two that I have that are jumping off the board for me very early on. I'm gonna say quite easily Heartland Zombie Stars and Lakeshore Drive. All of that has
Okay.
died down quite a bit. And, everybody kind of cooler heads prevailed, but let's not forget Coach Lovelace had a lot to say
Yeah,
to
that
the
was on my
owner
list
of
too.
Lakeshore
Yep.
Drive. He was the former coach. Coach Lovelace was the coach of Lakeshore Drive before moving on to Heartland Zombie Stars. He got into a little bit of a tiff with the owner, Rosante Vance.
Yep.
And subsequently, Coach Lovelace was let go. But he quickly found a new gig. And Rosante Vance, I don't know if he looked for someone else. I don't know if he cared. I don't know if it was part
Yeah.
of a master plan. I don't know what it was. But he's now the owner and coach of Lakeshore Drive. And both of these guys seem very passionate about the area, Chicago, or the state of Chicago basketball, shall I
Yeah.
say. So I think that's going to be a very heated rivalry on the court. Maybe everyone's not talking about it just yet, but I think on the court there's going to be lots of emotion involved. I'm pretty sure Coach owner, whatever you want to call him, Rosante Vance is
Right.
telling those kids some very particular things to get done on the court, and I'm pretty sure Coach Lovelace having some history and some background knowledge on those players on Lakeshore Drive, some of them. He's gonna have some stuff in store for those kids, and he's coaching his guys up for when that one goes down. And then lastly, neither one of these guys were did they hold back when they had things to say. So I am very much so looking to post game
Yeah.
interviews
Right.
after these guys match up, if they do. I haven't checked the schedule to see if they even play one another. So that's one of mine. I don't know if you want to jump in there and give one of yours. I can come back because I do have a couple others.
Okay, so one of mine that for me, it also might, oddly enough, it might be one of yours too. Gulf Coast and Queen City Kings, because of the things that we've seen go down in social media over the last week or so between Renzo and the whole of Gulf Coast. It
Yeah.
seems like I feel like there's gonna be something there to that one, for me, just because the other members of Queen City really didn't come in to help Renzo, because I mean, let's be honest, he really didn't need it at the point in time. He can handle his own, and he did. From what I saw, he gave as well as he got. Um, but I think that when it comes time for the game, you know, that's when his other teammates are going to be there to really, help him kind of put that extra little oomph into this rivalry here that we see start on social media and transition over into basketball court.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a good one. I mean, there's lots of them here in SimWorld Prep. There's lots. There's been lots of talking, lots of barking, lots of woofing. So yeah, there's the potential for some really great rivalries. Another one where the cat calling it exploded, but then again it went under the radar. There's two really big guys, two really big bodies on the West Coast that I can't wait to see. I'm not gonna pull a Charles Barkley say anything weird. I want to see those boys bang each other. I don't, nothing weird. But I can't. I mean, these are two really big kids,
Yeah,
strong, tough, broad shoulders, as well as two well-known coaches. And then
I think
lastly,
I know where you're going with this.
yeah, they're brothers,
Yeah,
and they're on the
absolutely.
same coast. I cannot wait to see Cascadia and Bay Area match up and see
Yeah.
Trey Hyman
Yep.
and Tyree Wells
Yep.
go at it one on one. And then the rest of the teams are just filled out with great athletes and great players as well.
Absolutely.
And then you have the brotherly rivalry. So between the Pope brothers. So I mean that could easily be number one. We'll see how it plays out if everybody's going to be all kind and sweet and nice and cupcakes as
I don't
Coach
think
Skinny
so.
calls. Don't think
I
so.
don't think
Yeah,
so. No.
definitely not with Tyree Wills and Trey Hyman.
And
There
Trey,
there
at least
is
those two for sure.
yeah
We
there's
know
some
those two for sure.
there's some competitive edge to both of those kids,
Yeah.
and I think they absolutely want to one up each other. And I think whoever gets the best of one another is going to try and lay claim to being that guy as far as big men in SimWorld Prep. So I
Yep.
have that one circled to say who is the most dominant, and I'm sure they're going to let us know after the game. And I'm gonna tell you now, I'm hoping for one of them to mash the other one. I don't really care who. I'm not looking for an even matchup because I feel like it'll be too nice after that. I need to hear all the cash money talking after that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Right. All of it.
what else you got?
So, so another one for me. I'm this one. It might not hit the same because circumstances are different. But I want to bring Heartland back into this, and I want to go with them and Indy because of Barkley and Bernard James. And their relationship to the Indy Stripes and all that. I want to see how the fans react to that whole thing. We do, as a reminder, these are, 15, 17-year-old kids, but we know how parents and fans can get, even if you are talking about, kids at a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Supporting your kids is one thing, but when you have the personalities that Benare and Barkley have, and how these went down in Indy last season with all that, I think that there's a chance for an interesting environment in that game. Be it if the Zombies host it or if they have to go to Indy to play.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me personally, I think the story of that matchup, no matter what, and I think everybody's sleeping on this, the story of that team is just going to be Dylan Harper. We could talk about Barkley, James, and Bernard, and they're going to eat by de facto, and they're good. But they got Dylan Harper. Have we forgotten about Dylan Harper? But hey, I'm with you. I understand your reasoning on that rivalry, and I agree. I think there's something to it. My take on my rivalries have been just a little different because I think that rivalries have a long-standing history behind them. You know what I mean? That's why the Showtime Bay Area rivalry is something. It loses some edge with no Corey Yams and no Bronny James and some of all of that, but it's still Bay Area versus LA.
Yeah.
That's there no matter what.
Yeah. Right.
It doesn't
Right.
matter who's on the
Right.
team. You got your Lone Star and your H Town. Those teams are totally remade. But guess what? Houston hates Dallas and Dallas hates Houston, and that's how it is. So
Right.
those rivalries are there. So my last one that I'm going with here, and this may be just on a wish list for me, but I also think it really just goes down like this. We hear these guys on their podcast, which is excellent, by the way. If you haven't tuned in to OTR, go tune in and listen. But I'm ready. I'm ready for this whole podcast to be torn to shreds because these guys are going at it on the court and they got their guys out there doing it and somebody got embarrassed somewhere. And I think it's going to be a really good matchup. Beasts of the East, the returning champions from last season in the race to one. They have a very solid squad. What are they going to do? They're going to play some defense. There's a whole lot of strategy and coaching coming out of Beast of the East. Coach Drayton has his guys coached up. He is a film master. He has some stars on that team, but they're not guys. The focal point of the way he runs his game is not around a mega star that takes everything up. It's going to be 32 minutes of full team action beating you down. A total team effort, right? And defense. Then I look across, not too many miles away, there's a little team called Philadelphia Elite who has not been so elite and has a chip on their shoulder, and I'm sure they got something to prove. And what do? 32 minutes of team basketball, lots of film, lots of coaching, lots of studying going on. And that coach over there with Coach Dries. And what else do they do? Defense. I feel like these two teams are almost a mirror image of each other on the same exact coast, but miles apart. So I'm looking for the fight on the court. And I think this is going to be an absolute, it's one of those games like where we used to watch back in the day. You see two teams play each other, and you know that they're friends, and there's friends on the team, and there's mutual respect, and all of a sudden, like a fight breaks out in the court. You're like, oh, this got ugly quick, and I can imagine how it went down because there's a lot of pride out there. So I think this has a rivalry. Excuse me, I'm flubbing my words there. I think this has a rivalry written all over it for seasons to come because I can see these two coaches going at it.
I like it. That's really.
I think their personalities will bleed into their teams so much because they're so involved with their teams that it has a long-standing rivalry.
Both extremely passionate coaches. They're they're definitely going to bleed over onto the players and into the game proper. That is a wonderful way to start the show, man. Let's keep it moving, though, shall we?
Look at you rushing me out. Look at this. No, I'm just messing. I'm just messing. Rain and Trays, though, right? Rain and Trays have a new coach. Oh, my brother. They have a new coach. Coach Finn Hayes, congratulations to you, sir. You've moved on. Don't know exactly what your role is with the Oregon Ducks, but I'm assuming you're on the coaching staff. And maybe someday we'll see him as the head coach. So that's exciting times for him. But the Rain and Trays had to move on because you abandoned them, and you abandoned them quickly, Coach Hayes. But you got to do what you got to do. I get it. Insert former politician, Coach Amber. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But yeah, Coach Malik Ambar's taken over last second here. He's got some pieces there, B-Ron. He's got some quality pieces. I don't know if Coach Finn Hayes had promised anything to these kids or what kind of system they were going to run or what kind of adjustments have to be made. But what kind of success do you think that Coach Ambar is going to have this season coming in so late with the talent that he has, also having Jafet Towns?
I really don't know because I have been for the majority of this offseason, I've been on the thought process of the Trays are going to not struggle, but they're not going to be as good this season. Sure, they have Jafet Towns there and Jason Cross are there, but for me, a lot of the other players that are there are unknowns right now. And from what I've seen of Crosser in the first couple of seasons here in SimWorld Prep, I haven't seen him do the things that we maybe expected him to do. Maybe he does this season, but I've seen Towns do what he did last season. So I know what he can do. I know what Towns can do. I don't really know what these other players can do. So I really don't know. My expectations have not changed from where they were previously. You know, everybody says, "Oh, B-Ron's a nice guy," and that kind of stuff, and that's true, yeah. But you know, I don't think I've been nice on this team. I may not have said it in an aggressive way, but I haven't been kind to this team this entire time, and that doesn't change with Coach Amber taking over. I don't see a big change happening, especially when he came in, 11th hour, a week before season starts. He doesn't have much time to get his scheme and plan into place. So I don't know.
So is that a on the fence, or is that a you don't see them doing so well, or is
I don't see them doing so well. I don't see them doing so well. Besides Jafet Towns, and again, I've said it plenty of times. I'm gonna say it here again. I think that Jafet Towns is gonna be this season's Darius Outlaw, where he's gonna have to do it all himself. It's a little bit of a different situation because last season LDO had Mikey Williams to start. Williams left, and they had to go in a different direction. But with all that being said, though, Towns he's gonna have to do it himself, and I don't know if he's gonna be enough to lead the team to get to a really solid record like Best Coast had last season.
Well, you say Jafet Towns, and you say him being this year's Darius Outlaw. last year's Lacedarius Outlaw led Best Coast Ballers to one heck of a record because they did finish the season in the top 4 records at 20 and
They
11.
did. They
So
did. They did.
last year's this year's Lacedarius Outlaw leads the team to a winning record. B-Ron, Jafet Towns is
Well,
a monster. I absolutely believe that. I think Ambar has a lot to work with. Coach has a lot to work with here, so I think he'll be in decent shape. 20 and 11 is a stretch, but I'm right there with you. I think this team is they're not going to be as good as they were last season, just because there's going to be an adjustment period. I'm right there with you, man.
yeah, and again, like, just to reiterate what I said one more time. While I do think that he will be
You don't
this
have to
season,
double down with the nice,
no,
B-Ron. You
no,
don't have to
no,
bring
no,
it
no,
back
no,
with
no,
the
no,
nice.
no, no.
Stand
No,
on
but
it.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I want to say it again because make sure you understand what I'm saying clearly. By me saying Defect Townsend is going to be this season's Blazers Outlaw, what I mean is that he's going to have to do it all himself. But I don't think he's going to be enough. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, again, like, he can have all the talent in the world that he wants to have, but this is a team game at the end of the day. And if he has to do it all himself, he's not going to be enough. He's going to be the guy who has to do it all, but I don't think he'll be enough for that team. I don't see it. I don't see it. Anyway.
I got you. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't see it happening, but oh man. So Losi Thomas and Caleb Boating, they're both on teams.
I like to say Botang. I don't know if that's right. I'm pretty sure it's not, but I like to say it. The same way Will Ferrell likes to see his Jesus as a baby. I like to see him as in a baby too. So I like to think this guy's name is Botang. Caleb Botang. All right, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Caleb Boating and Losi Thomas are on team with championship aspirations, Beasts of the East and the OGs, the originators. I think that how will they fare in your opinion? Because when you come into a team that has those high expectations, you as a player might try to push a little too much and play maybe out of your game and try to do a little bit too much to try to help the team get to that point when really you might be better off just filling your role, if that makes sense, or letting the game come to you versus trying to do too much. How do you think that these new faces will fare in those high places?
It's just like anybody else on any other team. I think we'll start with Caleb Botang. We'll start there. I think Caleb Botang is going to be just fine. You got Shooter McGavin out there, or Justin McGavin, or Hair Canada. I think he's going to be handling the ball, and I think it makes sense for him to. So I think that takes the bad decision making that could come from Botang at times, being just 16. I know McGavin's 16 as well, but I think that takes some of that off the table, and puts him in a pretty good position to. Excuse me. Puts him in a pretty good position to. Good Lord. Excuse me. Position
hard,
to succeed. Goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Nevertheless, so there, I think he has that there. I also think that the team's just going to be so loaded. You got Cooper Flagg, you got Jay Laster there, who's also going to be probably running the primary point ball handling duties. So I think the pressure will be off of Caleb. I think he'll get to come in and do what he does well. He's a big time. He likes to move the ball. A lot of people won't talk about this kid, but I think he's gonna have a chance to really grow his name out there in SimWorld Prep, which is why we're talking about him now, because he has an excellent skill set and he has time to hone it with the originator. So I think he'll be just fine.
Okay.
On the other side, with Beast of the East, Losi. I think Losi's just a straight up baller. I've seen some tape of him, and that kid can hoop. There's lots of big names out there that people are talking about just because they talk about themselves, or there's the flashy dunks or all the other things. But Losi, like Beast of the East, sneakily has quite a few players on that team that are going to be future stars at some point. Losi Thomas is absolutely one of them. Kids from Delaware don't generally get a whole lot of hype, is what I know, because I don't hear about everybody from Delaware like that. But I think he's going to put Delaware on the map. Losi Thomas is a baller, so I think the coaching there is what'll keep Low C in check. Because if he gets a little out of hand, slow that thing down, dump it down to Levin Cutler. We know exactly what he can do. You got
Right.
DeMarco Graham there. You got Leonidas, and then
Yeah.
KPJ, who's growing his game and is a great facilitator. So again, I think keeping players from getting overboard or out of hand is all a function of being able to take the ball back out of their hands and say, hey, cool off for a minute, man. So
Yeah, and both these players have coaches that will definitely do that if they feel the need to, if they see, the slightest bit of pressing too much.
yeah,
I think they're in good spots. I
yeah,
really do. I
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
do.
So I mean, yeah, I think they do well.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Me too. Well, look, man, we got some more brothers joining SimWorld Prep. Unfortunately, this had to come at the cost of another player, but we have another brotherly duo joining SimWorld Prep. We saw earlier this morning that Beyond the Arch has lost a player on their roster. Kyrie, I think his name here because I'm blanking on it right in front of me here.
Kyrie Witten.
Kyrie Witten Justin, yeah. He was unfortunately injured in a car accident and out for the season. So to replace him, Beyond the Arch has gotten a commitment from DeMarcus Owens' brother, Jamarcus. Jamarcus Owens.
Jamonte.
Jamonte Owens. Jamonte.
Yeah, I think we had some typos there, but yeah, Jamonte is
Okay,
going to be
okay.
joining the team. So you got some more Owenses: DeMarcus Owens, Jamonte Owens. So more brothers there. It's always a cool thing to have your brother playing on the court with you, and it's
Yeah.
always a good thing for the league to have more family rocking. But good lord, there sure is a lot of family. You have to
Yeah.
start. These families gonna have to start diversifying their portfolio to get their chances of success out there, man.
And we have Jermaine Owens on Philadelphia. I don't know if there's any relation between those three or
I don't
not.
know. Yeah,
But
not too sure.
you never know, man. Right? You never know. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but I I, I do like the addition, like you said, of another brother joining the team. I think that it's going to help him coming in sort of again at the last minute. Getting up to speed is going to be a little bit easier to do with someone you're already familiar with on the team. I'm sure he's been talking to his brother about SimWorld Prep and all that stuff, and now he's a part of it. So it'll be fun to see how they both gel on the court with each other and with their teammates as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking
All
forward to
right.
it.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. All right, man. Well, look, that's going to do it for today. We appreciate you guys listening as always. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you tomorrow.